Hello, everyone. I'm Everton de Oliveira from the Groundwater Project. And today we have the very nice book, Hydrogeochemistry, A Journey to Discovery by Warren Wood. Warren Wood has already written or co-written a book for us, and it's a very nice book, Groundwater in our, in the water cycle that I do recommend. Most of you might have already downloaded it because it's one of the best downloaded books of our list. But this is another serious candidate of being there as well. Warren is currently a visiting professor of hydrogeology in the Department of Earth Sciences and Environmental Sciences at Michigan State University and is formerly Hanna Professor of Integrated Studies at Michigan State University, Christensen Fellow at St. Catherine's College, Oxford University, UK, and research hydrologist of the US Geological Survey. Of course, I shrunk his CV is very long, and you may find that on the end of the book. You should download. It's very, very interesting, and it's free. Don't miss the opportunity. So, welcome back, Warren. Very nice having you. Yet another remarkable and important book. Congratulations. Right from the start.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about that wonderful cover. I love that. What inspired you on its design? It's very, very nice.
Well, it was interesting. Groundwater is abstract. Nobody ever sees groundwater. It's the water beneath our feet. And so I wanted to convey the abstract nature of it. So I went over to the university. I'm at Michigan State University, and I contacted a couple of art teachers in the art department and asked them if they had any students who would be interested for $500 to create an abstract version of the hydrologic cycle. And this was one of the candidates that chose this particular subject. I liked it. It shows the mountains. It shows the clouds, the sun, and the aquifers, and in an abstract way. Normally, we deal with abstract subjects. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to spend any effort on a cover now because it's all digital. It's no longer competing on a bookshelf, but I kind of wanted to make a statement. The cover, normally they're just this sort of some illustration taken from the book itself and put on the cover, and they're okay. But I just thought it was an opportunity to make a little more of an expression. So anyway, that's the shorter, the long story of the cover.
It is very nice. I really enjoyed it because your the cover is usually very graphical and for us, hydrogeologists. Usually they're quite obvious because they relate directly to that. And yours make us think a bit. So it was very nice. I was looking that and I was seeing the trees. I loved it.
Thank you.
Do you have the painting on your wall now?
No, actually I do have it right on my desk here. But my wife is not too excited about it as far as decor, so it's on my desk and not on the wall.
Oh. I like it.
I like it.
If I have an opportunity, I'll get that from you. I'll buy it from you.
Well, I'll send it to you. How's that?
That's very nice. Very nice. Okay, I might use that as a background. Because I use usually a painting. I use that as a background. That would be
great.
Nice. Thank you. So, why did you choose Journey of Discovery as a theme?
Well, that's also part of this abstract nature. It's a double intender. It's intended to show both the learning process of an individual who, as you move along, you understand a little bit more in the book. I start out very simplistic and try to build in a more complex environment, hydrogeologic environment. But it also reflects water. As water moves, the geochemistry is different than physical hydrology in the sense that it has a memory. It's a response of thousands of years of processes and and procedures, chemical procedures. So it has a memory of what it was. And so it's a journey of discovery of the water molecule and the solutes itself. That was maybe it's a little too philosophical, but that was the important, rather than saying introduction to, which is kind of boring. And I wanted a journey of discovery. Anyway, it's my book, so I can do that.
You're right, but it is like a journey. I like I like the idea. Can you give us an overview of your book structure, how you did that? Because if it's a journey, you know, it takes readers from fundamentals and tools and go to think to critical thinking in hydrogeochemistry, which is very nice. I think it's very, you know, it's a fascinating journey through the book and how, because you know usually when you see hydrogeochemistry, it sounds too dry. You have that feeling,
Totally.
but then when you have the overview at the end of it, when you have all the information, you can see things that you didn't expect, and your book showed that very well. Please
Well,
tell us.
that's exactly what I appreciate the fact that you picked up on exactly what I was trying to convey. The book was intended not as not as a textbook, because there's wonderful textbooks out there in geochemistry. But what it was is this was non-computational. This is conceptual. The idea
Yeah.
was largely conceptual, understanding the basic concepts of what's going on in the system, rather than getting into computational aspects, which can, pretty soon you get hairy-looking thermodynamic equations, which really turn people off. Particularly, I thought there's a lot of people entering groundwater, policy people, attorneys, undergraduates, people in even in engineering who don't have any necessarily no courses. They may have had a modeling course in hydrology, but they haven't had any real geochemistry. And so it was intended as just as a brief conceptualization of what's going on. So the first four chapters are very descriptive, and then I try to use a simple concept of mass balance, which every modeler is familiar with. And it's just the mass coming in and the mass going out, and it's checkbook kind of level of mathematics. So if you can balance your checkbook, you can do thermodynamics. It's as simple as that.
Yes, that's true.
Um,
That's true. That's true. I really enjoyed it. You put it in a simple way. That's very, very, very good. You have the talent for that. Congrats.
well,
Very
I
nice.
hope that I haven't oversimplified it, and I'm
No,
sure that,
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's right to the point. Very good. So could you give us a taste of the examples in chapter 5? Because you have some examples of like the
yeah,
hydrochemical sources and processes you explore. You know,
yeah.
explore.
Well,
It's been very illustrative. Please.
yeah, well, it's essentially there's only three sources of solutes in an aquifer system. Those that are left over from the original deposition environment, the connate or the relic or legacy or fossil water or solutes. There's sources from input from precipitation from underlying aquifers or rivers. And then there's weathering within the aquifer, radioactive decay. So there's only three sources of solids. And what I tried to do in chapter 5 was to expand these sources and illustrate each or an example of each of those. So I tried to get an example where weathering was the dominant factor, and one where ion exchange was a dominant factor. Another one where ion filtration or reverse osmosis was a factor, and attempted to try to illustrate it. Now everybody's going to say, "Oh my God, he's just quoting his own stuff," and it's true. It's
But,
because I don't know anything else.
but
I
nothing wrong with that actually.
rather ignorant about the literature in general. So I could only rely on my stuff that I'm familiar with. So I apologize to anybody who thinks, "Oh
Well,
my God,
there's
he's
no
doing
need to
literature."
apologize. No need, please. That's very nice. But one of the things is that when we go there, when we start thinking as hydrogeochemistry person, and you go to a new site, for example, what do you look for? Because in the examples, what I found is that gives us a glimpse of what we should look for when we go to a new site there. We go there and we have the first thing we look for is some chemical analysis. And then you have to look for to which direction and what ideas I have to put in place to understand that. And how do you expect that your examples will help us seeing that to anticipate solutions for, let's say?
Well, it's my feeling is based on the hydrogeology, the climate of the area. Is it arid or is it humid? What over the history of the aquifer? Is
Yeah.
it a recent aquifer in the sense that it has a lot of broken uh, bonds, or is it a mature aquifer that's been around for millions and millions of years? So you can get, because each one of these aquifers, therefore, will have a different domination. For example, if it's been around a long time and all of the original solutes are removed, maybe it's the solutes are all coming from atmospheric precipitation. But if it's a young glacial aquifer, mostly it's the solutes come from weathering of the rock. And so you can get a sense by thinking about the general climate and the general geology and age. So I'm trying to incorporate the large, big picture kind of view of how you might look at something like that.
That's very good. That's very good. So for me, as you're talking, I was thinking that the journey of discovery in your book somehow relates to the journey of the groundwater because we
That's
start
right.
thinking and seeing that as we learn. Is
That
that
was the
was that
idea.
the intention or not?
Yeah, that was the idea of the double entendres. I said that it has a double meaning, a journey of discovery. So
Very, very good. Very
I'm
good. You
trying to
did
be a
very
little
well.
subtle, and maybe I'm lost myself. I don't know.
No, it didn't. No, I really enjoy that. That's very good. So you present several ways to use hydrogeochemistry to quantify the physical properties of the aquifers, which is very nice. It's an eye opener for many hydrogeologists, right? Could you share some key insights of this, please?
Well, I just wanted to illustrate. I've used this kind of a technique in my own work, and I found it to be very helpful. Geochemistry does, in many ways, integrates a much larger sample than a traditional way of sampling either recharge or hydraulic conductivity that we normal as a physical hydrologist we go about doing. We might run a pumping test. Well, that's fine. It'll tell you the hydraulic conductivity within a few hundred meters of your test. But a chemical method might give you an integrated view over tens of kilometers. So it gives you a better integrated view of if you're looking for an average kind of recharge or hydraulic conductivity or some event. So that it offers a kind of a different philosophical approach to determining some physical properties. And again, the idea was to try to illustrate that this is a natural, something that you can look at without having to stress the system. You can look at existing data in many cases and to get to some insight about what might be occurring in your aquifer system.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, and that is quite interesting, the examples that you've used that there, because some in some situations people might forget that hydrogeochemistry could give us these opportunities to understand and to interpret data in a different way, not only in the traditional hydrogeochemistry results that we're looking for.
Yeah,
That's
it
interesting.
yeah, I wanted to try to show it was more than water quality. It provides some opportunity to think about the physical hydrology. And again, the whole concept was to integrate flow and geochemistry. The whole thing is that's why it's called hydrogeochemistry. It's kind of a clumsy, awkward title, but it's I wanted to get the idea that we're really talking about flow and chemistry and how that varies because it is you have to I feel you have to consider flow in any kind of an evaluation of the solid chemistry.
Interesting. So I have a personal question. What about writing a book on your own?
Don't do
You wake
it.
up in the morning and what do you think? Okay,
Well,
here I go
well,
again.
well, I think one is a labor of love. I can't exactly, I'm almost 88, so I'm not exactly a career builder, but it's something I should have done probably 50 years ago, but didn't have the time or the effort to do it. And so I don't know. It was more work, as I said, it was more work than I thought. But I really need to compliment John Cherry. He and I have been long-term friends long before he became rich and famous. So we go back a long way, back into the 1970s. And he really encouraged me to write this, and he thought that the kind of approach that I was doing was very good, and he had a lot of insight. There's a lot of John Cherry in this book. I can't give him enough credit because it really we had long discussions many times over about what to include and what not to include, and a lot of this is his fingerprints are all over this. So my
Very
hats off to
good.
John.
But you've done a great job there. Great job there. A book is always timely. It's always
Yeah.
timely. Don't worry that you haven't done it before. You've done it now, and it's very welcome. Don't worry about that.
Well,
So,
it was not. Yeah, one
go.
last little comment I'd like to make it. There's some really excellent introductory, or yeah, I want to call them introductory, but Eileen Poiter's got a wonderful book that I was a minor part of, but she really was a major player in that book.
Yeah,
Bill Alley at the USGS put together a really nice introduction, and Tom Winter again at the USGS had really nice introductions of groundwater, but none of them focused on solid chemistry. And I kind of wanted, I was shooting for that same level I guess, intellectual level, but with geochemistry in mind rather than flow. So anyway, that was the overall kind of guiding effort.
Oh, well, I hope you had fun because it looks like you had when we read the book. So
I
it's
got tired of it.
well, but that's
Trust me.
part of it. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Eileen Porter was a technical editor, and she was amazing. So
She is.
again,
She
my
is
hats
always.
off to Eileen. She just helped me. I made so many mistakes that she caught, and I owe her. Keep It's embarrassing. So anyway, she saved me.
She's so good. She's so
Yeah.
good. You are correct. You are correct. So your book ends with these words. Projecting into the past from the present is common to historical sciences like geoscience and astronomy. It is intellectually analogous to the future predictions and is a worthy pursuit. I love for you to use this idea to wrap up our interview, please. And it's very nice way of ending a book. Congrats.
Thank you. Again, it was really based on the idea that and when you look at a solid analysis of water, it's based on thousands of years, hundreds and thousands of years with probably 20 process, mineral precipitation, ion exchange, ion filtration, uh, uh, all kinds of sorption and desorption, radioactive decay. So it's got a whole history there. And in unraveling that history, you have to look at the past in order to get a sense of where this came from. And that's what I was trying to convey in my journey of discovery was that as you evolve, this water evolves, and you should think about it just didn't get beamed down from the Enterprise. It went through a long history of evolution, and man himself went through, evolved drinking this water of this relatively narrow range of concentration and composition. If you look at water all over the world, it's pretty similar. And it's only 7 elements make up 95% of the solutes. And so as we treat our resource, we have to look at the future and say, okay, how did we control this? We don't want to destroy this resource. And so to prevent from destroying this resource, we have to understand how it evolved. So I think it has some bearing. It doesn't seem to have any bearing to contaminant hydrogeology, and which is the big thrust in hydrogeology now. But it really does in a philosophical way. It sets the stage, and if we have to be careful about our resource and understand how it evolved the way it is, because we evolved with this resource. Anyway, that's my last philosophical thought.
No, but it is, you know what I enjoyed about the book is that it's not only, well, all our books are technical books. That's what we are, right? But
Yeah.
then you add this nice touch of a sort of a metaphor running through here and there, right? You start with the title and you end that with the idea. That's very nice. That's very nice. That adds
Thank you.
some color and also the cover. So you've done it thoroughly. It's very good. Very congratulations for the book.
Well, I hope it has a better reader author ratio greater than one. That's my hope, that at least two people will have read it.
Come on, come on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a blast. It's very nice. And we have all the, I really loved hydrogeochemistry. When I was taking my PhD, I've done organic chemistry and multi-phase flow. But hydrogeochemistry was so fascinating. I was sort of frustrated that I didn't do that during my PhD, but you have just that amount of time to finish your work. You have to pick whatever and get it done, right?
Well, thank you.
And then you put together all the ideas nicely there. So congratulations. I enjoy reading, and you have many authors for sure. Don't worry. They will come. They'll come.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Very nice, and congratulations again. Always nice talking to you, Warren. Bye.
All right. Goodbye now.
Bye.